while the Patriots have less than a 1% chance, that according to our analytics, Buffalo favored by 4. Dan, which team needs the win more, you think?
Oh, Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo, this is a must-win game tonight for Buffalo. They're 8-3 right now, 0-2 in their division. If they lose tonight, they sit 0-3 in their division. And in the games left, they still have to play. In the next 2 weeks, they still have to play the Jets again. They're still going to have to play the Miami Dolphins again. And then week 18, New England comes to them. So if you look at a team that has Super Bowl aspirations, a team that we believe is a legit contender to get there, to sit 0-3 in your division would almost be impossible to come back from. Not only do they need the number 1 seed or desire the number 1 seed for location of play, this team's beat up, and they need a break at some point, and that first-round bye is going to be huge. We think about Josh Allen with his elbow. Deion Dawkins, their starting left tackle, is not going to play tonight because he's nursing injuries. Poyer's missed some time. And the reality is this, with Von Miller's situation, and I said this Monday or Tuesday, if Von is going to be out for an extended period of time, I think they're waiting a week or two to see how long he'll be out. They need to go get OBJ. That extra week of having OBJ would be huge. Here's the reality for this football team. If they lose tonight, they sit at 8-4. That means they would be behind Miami and behind KC within the conference. They would be even with Tennessee, Baltimore, and Cincinnati and the Jets, and they would just be 1 game ahead of both the Patriots and the Chargers. Not only are we sitting here going, my goodness, are they going to win the division? You start to see like, are they going to get passed by to even get into the playoffs? I think that's a long shot. I'll be clear on that. But this team needs to win tonight. Buffalo, this is a must-win for Buffalo.
I'm not trying to deny that it's a must-win. I'm not trying to deny that the win is important, Dan Orlovsky. But I would say the level of urgency falls on the shoulder of the New England Patriots, not the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, even with a loss tonight, can recover because they've got 3 games left within the division. If they're already tied for first place, they've already lost to Miami. I got all of that. And if they were playing Miami tonight, then that would be different because Miami has an identical record. Miami already beat them. And on top of it all, if they would have beat them tonight, if they were playing Miami, that would be 2 victories that Miami got over them, not just 1. But because it's New England, and you've got New England, the Jets, and Miami on your schedule over the last 5 or 6 weeks or so for this regular season, I would beg to differ with that. I'm going to say this is about New England. New England is in last place in the AFC East. New England has playoff aspirations. New England loses this game. You know what? They're in dire straits in terms of potentially making the postseason. So we've got to take that into consideration, and we can't ignore that. Secondly, when you look at New England and what they bring to the table, I'm just looking at their schedule right here, Dan. You got a quarterback that's thrown like 6 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, even though he's completing a decent percentage of his passes at 69%, better than decent, actually. Ramondre Stevenson, obviously, and Damian Harris can run the football effectively. You've got this guy, not Jacoby N. Myers, the law firm, but Jacoby Myers as your leading receiver, okay? But 6 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, relatively pedestrian for Mac Jones. And then we got to take this into consideration. After the Bills, you got road games at Arizona and Las Vegas, 2 games they could lose. You got home games against the Bengals and Dolphins, 2 games they'd be expected to lose. And then you got a road game to close out the season against the Buffalo Bills. That is a big-time schedule. They're in dire straits. I think the level of urgency to win tonight definitely falls on the shoulders of the New England Patriots, more so than Buffalo. I get what you're saying in terms of Super Bowl aspirations. You crawl before you walk. In the case of New England, trying to make the postseason, and that would be in jeopardy. Buffalo's going to the postseason.
But coming into the season, 2 things here. One, unquestionably, the Buffalo Bills were a Super Bowl contender or in many eyes, a Super Bowl favorite. Okay. The Patriots were a fringe playoff team. We're like, we'll see. New offensive coordinators. These were defensive. Like, there was always concern and hesitation for New England to begin with. 21 out of the last 22 teams that have played in the Super Bowl, meaning in the last 11 years, those teams have won their division. If Buffalo loses tonight, it's hard to see how they win their division. They'll be sitting 0-3. So we go back to late August, early September, and we look at the expectations for this football team and where their goals were set. And then we get to the first week in December, and all of a sudden we're going, holy smokes. This team is in dire straits right now to get to where we're expected to potentially win the division. And they're going to have to claw and fight to get into the playoffs. I just told you all those teams that are going to be in the running with them. And so Buffalo, for them to get to the Super Bowl, they got to win their division. 21 of the last 22 teams that played in the Super Bowl won their division. The only team who didn't was Tampa Bay in 2020. And guess what? They didn't have to play in full stadiums. You think Buffalo's going to be able to go win 3 road games in a row this year in the playoffs? I think that's a tall ask.
I think it is a tall ask, but I think that they're capable of achieving tall ask. Whereas when you look at the New England Patriots, that ain't the case. We're talking about a team that's trying to make the postseason. I understand that. I understand that. But they can do it. They've got the talent to do it. They got a star quarterback that can help to pull it off. They're not weak when it comes to coaching. They're not weak when it comes to the offense. Obviously, Von Miller needs to be healthy because obviously that elevates the level of expectations we may associate with them. But in the end, it's not a dead end. It's not the end of the world. It's daunting, no doubt. But they have the ability to overcome. New England does not. New England doesn't win this game, and I don't know if they will. But if they don't win this game, I don't think New England's going to the postseason. Not that I'm questioning whether or not that I'm not questioning whether or not they would anyway.
I agree with that. I'll ask you this. So if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, the Dolphins, or let's say the Ravens, who do you think they want to lose this game?
I understand they're Buffalo, but I understand that. But that's because you're thinking about Buffalo having home field advantage. To me, I think that Buffalo travels. I think that if Buffalo is on their game, it don't matter where they are. New England needs ideal circumstances. Buffalo does not. They just got to get their act together and stop turning the ball over in the red zone. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.